Good morning, all. Welcome back to my class. Today we are going to learn the rest of the lesson Bibin Chowdhury's Lapse of Memory. Before that, I am going to ask some questions based on this lesson. First one is, who was Paresh Chanda? Paresh Chanda was a young physician who was looking at Bibin Babu in the bookshop. A stranger with a meek-looking face was looking at Bibin Babu in the bookshop. Why did Bibin Babu decide to call Dinesh Mukherjee? Bibin Babu decided to call Dinesh Mukherjee in order to confirm whether he had been to Ranchi in October 1958. Turn your textbook to page number 68. Part 4. Getting off the train at Ranchi next morning, he realized at once that he had never been there before. He came out of the station, took a taxi and drove around the town for a while. He realized that the streets, the buildings, the hotels, the bazaars, the Morabadi Hill. With none of these had he the slightest acquaintance. Would a trip to the Hundro Falls help? He didn't believe so. But at the same time, he didn't wish to leave with the feeling that he hadn't tried enough. So he arranged for a car and left for Hundro in the afternoon. At 5 o'clock the same afternoon in Hundro, two Gujarati gentlemen from a group of picnickers discovered Bibin Babu lying unconscious beside a boulder. Boulder means a very large rock or piece of stone. When he came round, the first thing Bibin Babu said was, "I'm finished. There is no hope left." Next morning, Bibin Babu was back in Calcutta. He realized that there was truly no hope for him. Soon he would lose everything: his will to work, his confidence, his ability, his balance of mind. Was he going to end up in the asylum at? Bibin Babu couldn't think any more. I am going to explain, so listen carefully. As he stepped out of the train, he realized that he had never been to that place. He took a taxi and roamed around the town for a while. He had never seen the buildings, hotels, markets, the Morabadi Hills ever before. He was not sure if a trip to the Hundro Falls would make any difference, but he just did not want to leave with a feeling of not having tried enough. Thus, he arranged for a taxi to Hundro and he left in the afternoon. It was around 5 o'clock the same afternoon when two Gujarati men who had come with a group of picnickers found Bibin Babu lying unconscious beside a large rock. When he regained his consciousness, his first words were, "I'm finished. There is no hope left." Bibin Babu had realized that there was no hope left for him. So he came back to Calcutta the next morning. He would lose everything: his interest in work, confidence, abilities, and peace of mind. He even wanted that he could end up in an asylum if the situation worsened. He had exhausted his ability to think anymore by that time. I am going to read the textbook, so look at the textbook. Back home, he rang up Dr. Chanda and asked him to come over. Then, after a shower, he got into bed with an ice bag clamped on his head. Just then, the servant brought him a letter which someone had left in the letter box. A greenish envelope with his name in red ink on it. Above the name, it said "Urgent and Confidential." In spite of his condition, Bibin Babu had a feeling that he ought to go through the letter. He tore open the envelope and took out the letter. This is what he read. Dear Bibin, I had no idea that affluence would bring about the kind of change in you that it has done. Was it so difficult for you to help out an old friend down on his luck? I have no money, so my resources are limited. What I have is imagination, a part of which I used in retribution of your unfeeling behavior. Well, you will be all right again now. A novel I have written is being considered by a publisher. If he likes it enough, it will see me through the next few months. Yours, Chunilal. When Dr. Chanda came, Bibin Babu said, I'm fine. It all came back as soon as I got off the train at Ranchi. A unique case, said Dr. Chanda. I shall certainly write about it in a medical journal. The reason why I sent for you, said Bibin Babu, is that I have a pain in the hip from a fall I had in Ranchi. If you could prescribe a painkiller. I am going to explain, so listen carefully. As he came back, he contacted Mr. Chanda and requested him to visit him at his place. After a shower and got in bed with an ice bag on his head. At that time, his servant brought him a letter that he had found in the letter box. The envelope was green in color with his name written on it in red ink. Above the name it said urgent and confidential. Regardless of how he felt at that moment, Bibin Babu could anticipate that he should open and read the letter. Thus he tore open the envelope and took out the letter. The letter began with a salutation to Bibin. The writer of the letter had further shown disappointment at how wealth had changed Bibin Babu. In the letter, Chunilal asked him if it had become so difficult for him to help his childhood friend. He further added that he has scarcity of resources as he had no money and all he had was imagination, which he used to take revenge for Bibin Babu's behavior towards his mystery. He reveals that Bibin could be fine now. He also tells him that a novel that Chunilal had written is being considered by a publisher. He will have enough money for the next few months if the publisher likes it and approves of it. Affluence means the state of having a great deal of money. In retribution of means as a punishment for. Unfeeling means unsympathetic. When Dr. Chanda came to see him, Bibin Babu revealed that he has got his memory. It all came running back as he got off the train. Dr. Chanda remarks it as a unique case and informs that he will add this in his medical journal. Bibin Babu told him that he called him to prescribe him a painkiller for the pain he has in his hip from the fall he had in Ranchi. That's all for the day. Thank you.